Hello everyone, I'm Ollie. I'm one of the marketing and CRM consultants here at HubGem. We specialize in HubSpot implementation for the education sector, and in this series of videos, I'm going to be outlining the AI features that HubSpot CRM offers and how to use them. Now we're going to start off in this first session by looking at the settings for your AI functionality within the account. Of course, this is the place where we want to make sure that, of course, this is set up in the way that we want to use it and in the right way. So to do this, if you're already a HubSpot user, go into your settings. If you're not familiar with HubSpot, settings is our little cog icon up here in the top row. We click on that and it takes us through into our settings page. And this is where we can scroll down under account management on the left hand side here, and we see the AI tab. If we click into that, we then get into our AI settings. Now, the first panel that we'll come to is the access panel, and this is defining how the AI tools and features can actually access the data and the various tools within your HubSpot account. So, of course, to be able to use these, we are going to have to toggle some of these on. The first one is going to be giving users access to generative AI tools and features. Of course, we're going to need to toggle this on if we want to allow our teams and our users inside of our account to be able to access, across the suite of tools and features, any of the generative AI models that HubSpot has already implemented for things like creating text and media content. Of course, we also have some sort of optional toggles below this. It does recommend, and I would also suggest that you do toggle all of these on to allow these generative models full access to the data within your account so that it can create better, more personalized content that is, of course, relevant to the data that you hold on any of your contacts. So the three toggles that we have here, the first one is our CRM data. Of course, we ideally want to be giving the AI tools access to our CRM so that it can go into our contacts, our companies, our deals, and the requisite properties for those, and draw on and pull in results from that data. We then have customer conversion data. Again, recommended to turn this on. This will give the suite of AI tools the access to any of your conversion data, especially useful when it's generating things like summaries, but it'll also include some more relevant responses as well. The last one we can toggle on here, if we just click on each of these, is our files data. So this will, again, just give the AI tools and any of those features access to be able to process any of those files and files stored within the files tool in HubSpot as well. Then the next section we have, and the final section actually, so it's quite easy to turn these on as you can see, is to give users access to Copilot. Now, Copilot is something very exciting. If you're used to ChatGPT or any of those sort of chat AI models, this is HubSpot's sort of own implementation of that, and it's directly within HubSpot CRM. We'll be going over this in future sessions because there's a lot to unpack here. It's worth mentioning it is currently in beta. You can simply toggle this on to give users access to Copilot, and you'll see up here we have the Copilot icon just next to where we went into the settings. Toggling that on will simply give you that option and give the users access to use Copilot. You can then go in there like you may be used to with things like ChatGPT and start asking for it to do some basic things around the account that, like I said, we'll dig into in future videos. So that's it. That's as simple as that. The AI tools are now sort of fully integrated. We've turned everything on that we need to. The only other thing I wanted to talk about in this session is the second tab we have within our AI settings here, which is data sources. Now, if you're already familiar with HubSpot and maybe you've had an account for a while now, you've probably already set up things like your brand kit, your company profile, your marketing strategy, and many of the options that we see here. If you're new to HubSpot or have never used HubSpot, these are some of the account defaults that we can personalize so that things like our brand colors, our company's profiles, so the information that HubSpot stores about us as a company, our ideal customer profile, which of course is things like attributes that your target audience will sort of have. Your marketing strategy, of course, you can set your goals here. Your AI agents will then use these goals when asking things like questions or to produce different types of content. You can also predefine your products or any services that you're actually trying to sell through HubSpot CRM, and then user profiles as well. So let's dig into these. So the first one is brand kits, and of course, all of these, they're not AI specific features, You can go into any of these settings individually to change these. But what we do want to make sure, if we're existing users or if we're brand new users coming in here for the first time, that we set these up so that the AI is using these defaults accordingly. So to go into and edit your brand kit, very simple, hit the edit button. We then go into the account default section of settings. This is not, like I said, an AI specific area, but this is where we can define some of our branding. So you can see here we've got things like logos, we've got favicons as well. We can then drop across to the colors tab, or we can set some of our default branding colors for primary, secondary colors, any accent colors, and all our additional colors that we might want to use as well. Very useful for when we're asking, the generative AI models to create content for us, that it's actually producing things that are on brand. You can also set themes, whether you create these yourself or whether you actually, download, install, or purchase these from the HubSpot marketplace as well. So again, the AI will actually be able to, use these sort of themes and templates and colors to create some consistent content for you. We also have brand voice, which, as you can see, is in beta at the moment, but this is another great feature that really is recommended for using any sort of generative AI tools, because we can set things like our brand's personality from a drop-down list here. We can select up to 4 of these, but there are loads of different options in here. And then we've got the same functionality for sort of our default tone. What is the tone of the content across our channels? So again, we can choose from the drop-down list here. So we start to mold our AI around the type of personality and tone that we want to have, broadly speaking, across our content channels. We've then got some more advanced settings, which are totally optional, but of course, if you dig a bit deeper into these, you get even more personalized content to what you're sort of after. So we can outline what our company mission is here. We've got 50 words to describe this, and then we can also insert any terms that we want generative AI to avoid in our content. We've got 20 words we can add to this that we don't want it to sort of enter into any of our content that it creates for us. There's also some additional rules that we can apply here, so we can create custom replacement rules should we wish, and we've also got some inclusivity settings that we can just toggle on or off. If you really want to get into it, you can also dig into the channel specific settings, which will then start to break it down by things like blogs, case studies, or emails, pages, etc. And we can just toggle these on or off and define whether we want to use the default tone or whether we actually want to set different tones for different channels here as well. So if we do, it gives us those same sort of options here. And for something like social in this example, it also breaks it down by our individual social channels as well. So next we're going to jump into the company profile. Now again, this is something that you probably want to go and do sort of straight away when you're kind of setting up the account defaults. But again, if you're a new user, here's how you can do it. So depending on how many different company profiles in the account you have, of course we have more than one in our demo example here. If you choose the one that you sort of want to use, you can just go into edit like we did previously. Again, we're in account defaults here, just like we were before. And you can just go through and define, what the account name is, the time zone, your fiscal year, and then go through some of your company information here as well. So the AI, generative models within HubSpot will then use this information for when you create your content, for potentially sort of plugging the business in some way and just inserting some useful basic information about the company. Of course, like I said, you can do this for multiple company profiles should you have those set up in the account. The next one we're going to look at is the ideal customer profile. So again, this is quite an important one for actually defining, who are we sort of going after with any of our services or products that we're offering, and also who would be, what type of person would be a great fit for this. So if you've got nothing in the account, big orange button in the top right here, we can create a new ideal customer profile. This will bring up a very simple form. Just going through some very sort of basic properties, just asking you to outline, what this sort of person looks like. So we can name that individual, and it doesn't have to be someone's actual name. This can be sort of a naming scheme we have internally for the different types of ideal customers we have. And then you've got things like job title, industry, location, company size, and as you can see here, some more sort of basic fields. Once we've filled that in, we can create that ideal customer profile. And then just like with all the things we've looked at previously, the AI now has some predestined information so that it can start to tailor content to these specific ideal customer profiles. and at the same time sort of draw on the data that they might be holding as well. The next one on our list is the marketing strategy. So this will be setting your marketing goals that your AI agents can use. Very, very simple tool. We're just selecting from a drop down of 2 goals here what our marketing goals will be for use in AI generated content. And there's not really much to choose from here. So you can choose any sort of 2 of these and they will just populate the list. And once you've done those 2, that's it. Simple as that. Coming towards the end of the list now, we have products and services. So this is a section of HubSpot where we can simply just define and have more than one of any of our products and services that we are trying to use HubSpot ultimately to get contacts to convert on. So we can outline our value proposition here. What is it that makes this product great? What problem are we trying to solve? Why should people, invest in what we're sort of offering? And then what pain points does your company solve? Again, very similar questions. You'll know this detail already. You can just simply fill those in. When we hit add product or service, we can add multiple to this list as well, and you will see them in this drop down area. The last one to mention is the user profile. So as we will go into this one, you will see my user profile in this section. And this is, this is just a place for you to actually just outline, individuals in the team. So you can see here, there's me. We can go into that, and it's just pretty much a profile editor, just to define some very basic things like profile image, which you can then use in things like the meeting links tool. Of course, your name and any associated information in here as well. We can even go as far as sort of going over sort of working hours, connected accounts, customer user properties, and many other things in here that we can personalize, of course. But again, as a user in the account, if you're already in your HubSpot account, you've probably done much of this already, but it's worth coming in here and checking that they are still up to date and the kinds of details that you want generative AI models to be able to see. And if you're a first-time HubSpot user, of course, as individuals within the account, do come into this section and have a look through some of these tabs and just create your sort of profile within the account. There you go. That's all for this video. I hope you found it useful or informative. If you want to learn more about HubSpot or how we can help with your implementation within education, the links that you'll need will be either on this post or in the description. Bye for now.